What up, what up, what up? This is Alpha Kingdom, little late night session for you guys. Shout out to Joe Paz, Willow Aiken, Sam, what's going on? People coming in. There we go. What's going on, brother?
Happy Kingdom, my man. I'm doing well. It's so good to see you. Just so for everybody that's tuned in right now, I remember when when Hot Dude Con was going on in LA, and I remember I opened the door and I see you're the first person I saw after like going back to my house to grab a bunch of stuff for our house party, and I see you and I'm like, holy crap, it's Happy Kingdom in the flesh. And right there, me and you, we just saw each other. We're like, yo, what's up?
Off the top. Off the top. That's good. So how you feeling today, man?
Dude, I'm feeling great, man. I'm actually in Wyoming in Jackson Hole right now. I went out with family. It's my parents' anniversary, so we went skiing. I went skiing the first day I was there, and then today I went snowshoeing in Grand Teton National Park. We went for about 6 miles round trip, and then tomorrow I'm gonna go skiing. And the snow is great, man. It's cold out here, but the snow is awesome. The downtown in Jackson Hole is really good. If you haven't been to Wyoming in that particular area, it's beautiful.
That's good, man. Well, I want you to tell the people who you are, what you do, and what your purpose is.
Okay.
Let's start with that.
All right. So, hello, everybody in the audience. My name is Cameron. I go by Grand Cam as well. And I got into connection with Afi Kingdom through a men's community that I'm a part of. And Afi is someone who's highly well respected in our community and provides a lot of wisdom and value to us all. One of the things that for me was important in being in this community was that I needed a lot of help with. I'm a guy who's into self improvement. And one of the things I needed help with a lot was in particularly in dating, just dealing with just personal issues I was having with all kinds of areas of life. And everyone who goes in this community, they have all their own fair share of issues that they're going with. Now, I'm not somebody who was really lacking in game, but I just needed a little bit of polishing. That's where Afi Kingdom came in. And I remember when he first started talking, I was like, who is this guy? And why is he such a smooth talker? And I'm not blowing steam up your ass, bro. I'm being serious, being absolutely genuine about this. And then I remember when Afi would just go on his wisdom rants, right? And I don't want to say rant because it sounds like an ugly word, but it's honestly just monologues. That's the best way to say it. It's a wisdom monologue. And he's just going on and on and on. And I'm just thinking to myself, damn, this guy's just dropping mad knowledge right now. And he's somebody that I want to associate myself with. So my purpose in life is this. I like to surround myself with guys out there who are always working on building a better version of themselves. That's how I've been since I was turned 21. So when I was 16, started hanging out with not the best group of people, but that's, with every guy when you're in high school, you just kind of hang out with whoever is associated with being cool or popular or whatever. And then right when I hit 21, that's when I wanted to turn my life around. I pulled a complete 180 and decided, okay, let's go in the direction of growth and being surrounded with good people. So from 21 to I'm now 30. So from 21 to 29, I kind of went through this journey of just building myself in multiple areas of my life. I joined public speaking club. I joined fraternity in business. So all these different things to kind of just complete the checklist of life, right? Business, dating, finances, connections, whatever it is, I started doing that. So that's how I got a hold of Afi, is because I wanted to be part of a community where guys were helping other guys out. So I do also, Afi, you don't know about this, but I'm in the process of launching a website. Actually, before we started the stream, I purchased this one domain, and I paid this guy on Fiverr to build my website for me. So it's in the process of building a coaching services for guys from ages 18 to 30.
That's cool. You have a niche and you have a vision. I think it's important for guys to understand. I remember you being shy and you needing polishing, and I seen you grow to embrace your vision and really get excited about it. And it's a fun thing to watch from the stands. To see you get excited about the things you want to do, and to hear you on the webinars with these plans and really feeling motivated, because people like to listen to stuff and it makes them feel good, but rarely do they have a plan to succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. There's all kinds of people, I think, in the group that we're a part of, there's all kinds of guys that go in. Some guys, like, their growth is a little bit. I mean, John always says, like, Cameron, you're going really fast, and that's because Afi, deep down, like, I really want to figure out life ASAP. Like, I'm not trying to just jerk around and be like, oh yeah, okay, like all this stuff sounds good, and Afi's dropping all this knowledge, and John is dropping all this knowledge, and all these other guys are doing it. But like, I want to act on it, and I want to get there ASAP. I want to be at that point of happiness and success sooner than later. And I feel like I've been a disservice to myself, like, much, earlier in my life, because I felt like I was a little bit misguided. Now, I came from like a very stable household, but like I was, I feel like I deserve better in life. And I also want to give back to guys. Like, one of my purposes, I think, in my callings, obviously, is this, like, because I came from a very stable household and I didn't face too much trauma in my life, and I came from a well-to-do family as well, I feel like it's my obligation to give back to people. Like, I really want to see guys succeed. And for most of my life, actually majority of my life, I haven't even charged anybody for this, right? Like, now I'm starting getting to it because my time is becoming limited, and I'm getting this, like, I feel even deep down I have this competency where guys are validating my opinions, and they're saying, hey Cameron, like, you give out really good knowledge, and I think you can you can do even more with this, and the sky's the limit for you. So I'm like, hey, you know what, like, I can make a business out of this, and I'll still help out guys even on the side as well. But if it's going to get to a point where it's going to start booking my time for deeper consultations, then that's when I'm going to start charging for my services. But I'm someone who loves to just see guys grow altogether.
Mm-hmm. And it's also good having a strong network, because even if you can't provide the service, you can hand it off to somebody who can.
Absolutely.
I pride myself knowing, like, man, I literally have somebody I know for everything. If there's any type of field I want to get into, stocks, Bitcoin, real estate, being a dentist, being a fitness guy, I know somebody. I can pick up the phone and call somebody.
Are you into crypto right now?
No, I'm not. But that's just an example. You know the crypto game. You knee deep heavy in it.
I'm knee deep heavy in it, that's for sure. And like, people will even like will kind of just they're one of the some of the guys in my community, like, we're part of this crypto chat from Charlie's Cultivate Crypto course. And one of the funny things is I started like dropping. I started telling guys, not financial advice by the way, to go into this one cryptocurrency called AMP. And AMP is, in my opinion, a very revolutionary cryptocurrency, Afi. And the reason why is this. So I'm a business owner. Now, let's just say, like, someone like you have Ethereum or Bitcoin you want to pay me with. But as of right now, it's not normalized where people accept Bitcoin payments. It's not very common, right? So let's just say you're like, you know what, I'm just sold on only going to Cameron's business and paying with Bitcoin. So this is how it's going to work. You put money on this app called, I think it's called Spenderd or something like that. It's, again, powered by the Flexa network, which is collaborated with the collateralized token called AMP. So let's say I charge you $5 for ice cream, right? You pay with your Bitcoin and I receive fiat dollars. So that, to me, is a revolutionary thing. Now, there's a lot of competition, and Cultivate Crypto Charlie and Dollar Cost Crypto, all those guys are part of that sphere, Afi. Mm-hmm. They're saying that there's a lot of competition. There's like Visa, there's MasterCard, and all these other people it's a bit competitive. Now, it's dirt cheap. It's been floating around 2 to 3 cents like the last week. But I'm a big believer in it. I kind of aped into it, which, by the way, for guys who are not familiar in your chat right now, aping is literally kind of like YOLOing, where you put like a lot of money in and you don't dollar cost average in increments of different time period into the cryptocurrency. Again, I just came off the thought that, like, I believe in this. It's very well balanced, or excuse me, it's very supported by the Gemini network, which is an exchange you can purchase cryptocurrency from. So I was just curious because you mentioned Bitcoin, so I thought, Afi Kingdom's going to be in the crypto mindset course possibly with all of us. That'll be pretty cool.
I thought about it. I just hear so many ups and downs about it. I'd be on the fence, and then I kind of get to where I'm about to see, and then I don't know, something happens. I feel like I need to really get into it, though. I mean, is it obtainable to where do I need to be a millionaire to even drop in there, or what?
No, the way I see it is this: like, you got to be realistic with your expectations with cryptocurrencies. So, and I know Republic of Awesome, he's in the chat also. He's somebody who's like very big in cryptocurrency. So, thank you for coming in, by the way. I think so. The way you got to see it is based on this: like, how much money are you starting out with, and also which cryptocurrency are you going into, and do you genuinely believe in the project? Also, Sam Prochensky, who's in the chat, he's actually someone who's very big in the cryptocurrency space. Also, him and I, we both went into AMP together. But let's just say, like, right now, what Charlie from Cultivate Crypto and Dollar Cost Crypto, which is Miguel, what they're saying is that right now we're in the bull market. So if you have, let's say, $1,000, just making a number up, you have $1,000 and you're going to put it into Bitcoin, right? If Bitcoin has a pump, it's not going to be, you're not going to get a lot of money in return from that, right? But it's a safer bet in a cryptocurrency. AMP, on the other hand, is very volatile. Like, one day it's going to be, let's say, 3 cents, the other next day will be 2 cents. So it really depends on who's backing it, how much capital are they getting from like investors, and how mainstream it is at the moment. So if you're going in with like thousands and thousands of dollars, then allocating, it all depends on your risk tolerance, by the way, too. So if, let's just say, you want to put a good percentage of it in Bitcoin kind of as your blue chip, like Bitcoin and Ethereum are considered blue chips. So they're very safe. They're backed by like a lot of financial institutions, and a lot of people believe in it, and there's not, the volatility is much less. So it really depends on like your risk tolerance, and also what the project is offering, what the value you're going to get out of it.
Interesting. My man Dwayne Jones, what's going on, brother? He says I still got my Bitcoin from 2017. So is it, does that mean he rich now, or is it automatic, or does it matter what he, because
He's in a good position, that's for sure.
he used to be on me about it, like, you gotta get it, you gotta get it. He used to be on me back then about it. And he would be like looking at it all the time, all of like nonstop. I'd be like, man, I don't know about that. And so maybe he rich now. You rich now, bro?
Yeah, Dwayne, feel free to...
You rich now, Jones. I forgot about that. You rich now. Take me on vacation then. You got the Bitcoin money.
Dude, it's so funny, Alfie, because my cousin told me about Bitcoin back in 2010 when it was 2009 when it officially started, but in 2010 is when he was telling me about it. It was worth like cents or dollars, like a few dollars. And I remember he kept telling me, this is what you got to get into cryptocurrency. And I was like, I don't know about this. This is like, very new to me. And I didn't have that much money back then. I was a much younger guy. And I was just kind of like, my mind was in a completely different place. So I was like, nah, this is stupid. I'm not going to do it. But Dwayne's a smart guy. I mean, if he still has all of his Bitcoins since 2017, he's in a very, very, very good position right now. And and one thing that I've been doing, again, this is just my personal strategy, Afi. Like, I jumped into Ethereum back in December of 2020. So I dumped my whole 401k into cryptocurrency because I'm a big believer in it. And I know this is very ballsy for a lot of people to do this. Like, there's a lot of thought process that went into it. It wasn't just like, all right, I'm just going to drop everything into Ethereum. But my money like 2x. And I was like, shit, well, I have all this money now. Let me just take a little bit out and pay for this, a little bit to pay for that, or maybe allocate into like different cryptocurrencies. So now you start becoming like your own bank where you can just allocate a little bit here, put a little bit there. If you like buying yourself something, like, screw it, you treat yourself, right? You put a little bit in like over there. So
that's good. What's going on, American Negro? What's going on, Topaz, baby? That's funny. Just, I got it. It's good to live a little bit, man. Like, I understand, there's always a grind, and you want to hustle to excel in life, man. But you gotta have fun, man, because it's like you have to remind yourself why you're doing it every now and then.
Correct.
If you just get redundant on your routine and stuff like that, a lot of times you won't see light at the end of the tunnel, even though there is, but you just get so caught up in the routine of it, it's just hard to see. So you gotta always check in every now and then and celebrate a little bit. You know what I mean?
Afi, what do you do? Like, when you notice like you're going to this point of redundancy, right? Like, what do you do exactly to kind of just snap out of it and be like, all right, let's focus on like something else? What do you do?
Personally, I usually take a trip. I'm from the quarantine. I kind of stopped traveling because I'm used to traveling abroad, and then since that's so much on my radar and I haven't been able to do that, I kind of just been poking back. So now I'm getting back into just hopping on the plane again. I done been a few places. this year, and that's just what I usually do. I mean, even I'll take a mega bus or a train ride, man, just to think and just to sit and read a whole book. Like I remember just when I went to see my mom, I read 3 books in that week. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
And but the thing is, like that was my plan though. That was
Okay.
my plan, and I was excited about it. Like, ooh, shit, I'm about to read like 3 books. That's how I be feeling about it though. You know what I mean? Like I'm about to read like
Right.
3. I got one here, and then I'm gonna get on the plane. I be mapping out the time, losing the time. I'm just 1 hour in, and then, but that's just me. And it's funny how everybody's so alike and we're so different. We all have our quirks and things that we're interested in, the things that really make us vibe and get us motivated. You know what I mean? Like some people, like me, for example, I'm motivated by hate, but everybody's not motivated by that. Some people, it's like being a teacher and you educating kids. Some kids need to be scolded. Some kids, they need to be championed, whatever. So just finding out and even being a coach, just challenging yourself, challenging yourself to figure out the code to this person. You know what I'm saying? Because we all different. So it's like, okay, this person, like I mean, I even give you some game. Like I keep my game tight. I even ask myself practice questions sometimes. That's how serious I am about mentoring, and that's how much serious I am about just the game. Where I give myself practice questions just in case somebody asks me some stuff and I got an answer for them. You know,
And
always be a student of the game.
right. And what was the foundation of creating this kind of mindset? Because I do something similar to what you do as well. Like I prepare myself like when any kind of situation, like if I'm going to go to something tough, like I'm always trying to think ahead, right? And I've been scolded for this before too. Like I've been, teased because I'm thinking always like too far ahead sometimes. But I want to know, just for everybody in the chat, so they can get a taste of like how you think as well. Because again, after all, like your your wisdom is something we all learn from like every day when you start talking and sharing your information with us. So how did that work out for you? How did it all come about?
Oh man, I don't know, bro. Like I did a video with my mother, like when I was out there. That'd be the best answer. Like I always been like this, man. I've always been a positive person. I've always been one to encourage others. I've always been a leader.
Hmm.
Um, I always seen greatness in myself. I don't know no other way, bro. Like that's just Jones. Have I always been like this, bro? I always been confident and just I always been like this. It's not. I can't really boil it down to this happened or that happened. Like I always felt internal greatness in me, man. I had downfalls and times where I had to question myself and question my skills,
Right.
but I always bounced back out of it, man. And each time I bounced out of it, I just got stronger and stronger. And now I'm just like at infinity, man. Things don't really affect me, you know what I'm saying? I had a conversation with a friend and I was telling her like you don't it doesn't really matter if you win sometimes. Sometimes it's not even worth the emotion. You know what I'm saying? We have 24 hours in the day and we in control of our emotions. So make that positive. Make it a positive experience, man. We sleep 8 of those. So then what? You're gonna spend 5 of them mad and 3 of them angry, 2 of them trying to figure it out. Like, no, just you can only focus on what you can do and what to get out of situations, you know?
Hmm.
So I always ask myself why. I can tell you that.
Hmm. Yeah,
See,
I
you said
yeah,
that.
no,
I've always been the same man, 100 grand since I met him. Appreciate you, bro.
yeah, I think for me, like the whole winner mindset and having this mindset of like the dominance mindset, as you always you share with all the guys. I think for me, like it was always in me as well, but I didn't have enough self-confidence growing up as a kid. Like I feel like I was like decently confident, but I wasn't like definitely not where I am now. Obviously, because I lack maturity and I lack wisdom and life experiences. But I think for me, Afi, to get to where I was now, like I didn't want anyone to screw me over ever again. I didn't want people to ever disrespect me or ever look at me like any other way, because it's like when I started becoming a teenager, I felt like I just kind of like was going a little bit downhill slowly but surely. And then right when I hit 21, I just like woke up one day. And I mean, not to get spiritual like on everybody and you in the chat, but like for me, I remember I was like atheist for about like a few years of my life. And I was like, I don't believe in God or whatever. And I think that had to do something with the fact that I was like, going in a negative direction. But the moment I remember one day I just woke up, I don't know what day it was, but I just woke up and I was like, you know what? Like I looked up at the ceiling and I'm like, God, like get me out of this situation. I think from there, I just kind of like, I started just, I felt so relieved. And I was like, all right, I'm just going positive from this direction. I'm just going upwards and upwards and upwards. So I started thinking to myself, okay, like part of my like style of coaching, Opti, for me is like, okay, I go based off a checklist. All right, what area am I lacking the most? So for me, it was like, okay, I want to be well respected by my peers. And I remember my family members and certain friends would say, Cameron, you need to be more articulate and you need to be able to enunciate your words better. And I didn't babble like an idiot, but I know I needed improvement on that because I had other people telling me this. So I joined a public speaking club, which is called Toastmasters International. For anybody in the chat that has not heard of it, it's one of the best decisions you could ever make. And that actually helped me with so many areas of my life, Bobby, that I didn't even realize, like with dating, social settings. And when you can communicate very well, go ahead.
I just had a consultation with this guy about opening up my own Toastmasters yesterday.
Really?
But
Okay.
that was just that. I mean, it would be cool if it was last week, but that was just yesterday.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Have you been in an actual meeting before?
No, this was just yesterday. So we just we talked, and then you brought it up right now.
Okay, so let me just share with the audience as well, so you can know as well, Afi. So Toastmasters is going to be divided into 3 parts. You have the instantaneous speaking, and you also have the prepared speeches, and you also have evaluation. So during the, it's called in the instantaneous speaking, which again, it depends on the club. So part 1 could be prepared speeches, part 2 could be evaluation, and the third part could be the instantaneous speaking, which is called table topics. So let's just start with table topics first. You got someone who is the moderator. They're called the table topics master. So imagine someone behind a podium. They pick a subject of the meeting, for example. Let's just say the theme of the meeting is carnival. So carnivals or circuses. So you have someone behind the podium saying, okay, when was the last time you went to the carnival as a kid? Afi. And then Afi like is like, oh, I'm getting called. Okay, so then Afi has to stand up, and then he says, thank you, whether man or woman, like, thank you, madam, or Mr. Toast, table topics master, madam, whatever it is, table topics master. Thank you for that question, and welcome, esteemed guest. So I would like to start by saying that when I was a kid, I was 18 years old. I went to the carnival. I had a great time, and you're supposed to talk for a minimum of like 1 minute. And I think the max is like 2 minutes. So if you cut yourself too short, or you go over time, then you get penalized for it. And the penalization is not a big deal. It's just like it's just for constructive criticism purposes. So it trains you to think in a more concise manner and choose your word or speech. And depending on the difficulty of the speech and what the theme it is, it could be, for example, minutes long, 7 stages. What this teaches you to do is to actually you discuss whatever it is that you're talking about. So the first one would be the icebreaker, which is you talk about who you are. After your speech is done, again, as long as you're within time, you're solid. Then the next part is going to be the evaluation. So someone, man or woman is going to evaluate you and say, okay, so Cameron, I liked how you did your speech here. You were great on these 3 points. I like how it's all constructed together. But here's something I want you to work on. Too many filler words. You said like, far too many times. And guys, don't worry about it. Everybody's like this when they first start in Toastmasters. Everybody. Even me. Then once the evaluation's over, there's a possibility that you can actually win best speech. And I've won best speaker, I think 3 times in my public speaking club. So I was part of Toastmasters Calabasas, which is based in Southern California. And Afi, one of the one of the moments for me, which was really remarkable, was like I remember when I won best speech for my first time. It was my second speech that I did, so I didn't win the first time, but I won the second time. It was against other speakers who have been in the club for over like 2 years, like longer than 2 years. So I was like, damn, okay, there's maybe something in it for me. Like I can actually do a really good job with this.
What was the speech about?
The speech was about, from what I can remember, I believe it was about the hospitality industry. I was like sharing how me going above and beyond like changed someone for the better. So I got inspired by Steve Wynn, who's the no longer, well, he's the founder of the Wynn Resorts, and also was at the time like the founder of Bellagio Hotel, Treasure Island, and Mirage in Las Vegas, like back in the early '90s. So for me, I was talking about how his team went above and beyond and grabbed someone's like medicine from, drove all the way to like LA to pick up someone's medicine and brought it back to Vegas. Now, I mean, it's maybe he was, I believe him. I don't think it was, it seems a little bit too good to be true, but I don't know. For me, like I got really motivated by that. So what I did is I talked about a moment where I went above and beyond, where I literally got out of my house and drove and did these like deliveries where like the driver was like lost and everything. So I wanted to make sure that that person was happy in the end. The person was very thankful about it, and wrote a very good review on our corporate review platform, saying like Cameron went above and beyond, and I really appreciate it. So from there, I wanted to share that experience, and everybody was like, "Oh wow, like Cameron, this is really good." And being an engaging speaker goes a long way as well. Besides the content that you're providing.
That's dope. Mac the Day Gamer in the house. He already know it's some type of crazy game where he at. What's going on, Mac the Day Gamer? Freddie Boss, what's going on, bro?
What's up, Mac?
I told you I was gonna take care of you. I did not tell you I'm chill, man. It's easy. You see, this could be your life. Every day you just wake up and just talk to people and you get paid. Don't that sound like a fun idea?
Afi, one thing I wanted to share as well, because for me, a setback that I had as well, and this is not just to make myself look good in front of everybody. I share this to have for anybody who feels like they're in a rut, or they feel like this quarantine has gone to the best of them and they're just kind of like, I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do, or like I don't feel like there's anything out there for me. I don't feel like I can advance in the corporate ladder. I want to share this experience that like when I joined my business fraternity, which was Delta Sigma Pi. So it's a co-ed business fraternity back at my university. And when I joined it, I remember I signed up for 6 leadership positions because I genuinely wanted to grow. And I didn't get any of them at all. And I was a new brother in the fraternity, so I got really like, a little pissed off about it. But when I started applying myself, and then once I joined Toastmasters, within 1 year, I ended up becoming president of this public speaking club. So if you're not going to be, let's just say you're not getting what you want in a certain organization or in a certain area of your life, like you can alternate and pivot and go to something else where they actually will see your value at that moment. Or maybe you just weren't ready to be at that one position at that right time. So maybe you dealing with certain trauma or dealing with a certain setback, it can actually help you on the long run. And you can put yourself in a situation where you're just like, now I'm in a winning position. So I wanted to share that with you too. I thought it was like really surprising when I got that. I'm like, okay, like I'm going somewhere with this now.
That's dope, and it's very inspiring too. It shows the ability to keep going. You know what I mean? People. What I always tell guys is, they focus too much on what they're not doing right, what they're not doing wrong, with what they're doing wrong, and not what they're doing right. If you're doing 8 things right, you're focusing on the 2 things that are doing wrong. When you can elevate them 8 things that you already are mastering or on your way to it. You know what I mean? We're not supposed to be good at everything, because if that was true, we wouldn't have balance. We wouldn't. Yeah, we wouldn't have no balance. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't walk around with perfect scores. If we were a perfect score, then how can we face adversity? How could it happen? We need to fall to learn and get back up. It has to happen. There's no way to avoid it. And I feel like a major key too is people trying to avoid the struggle and mainly trying to avoid the work. What you got to say about that?
I mean, yeah, avoiding the struggle, like that's what makes a man. What makes a man is you embracing the struggle and you kicking ass the whole time. One thing I talk about it, like one of the foundations of growth is resilience. And I remember I was in this. Are you part of Clubhouse, by the way, Afi?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was in a Clubhouse chat room one time, or a conversation, and I remember like girls were these. It was like about whatever the theme was. I remember this one particular girl was talking about how like she doesn't like guys that are wimps, and she's like, "Why am I having a hard time finding guys that are like strong men?" And I'm like, "Listen, if the guy that you're dating is not resilient and he's not pushing himself and he's not striving for it, do not associate with men like don't associate with men like that. You want to be around men who are strong and they embrace the struggle, because that makes them better quality men. Like I'm pretty sure, like Avi, you can express the wisdom that you have if you didn't go through those life struggles, right?
Right. You
Right.
absolutely correct. You got a question from John Bell. He says, how do you adapt when your own choices affects the dynamics of your family? What you got to say about that?
I feel like this was like perfect for me because like okay, so let's see. How do you adapt when your own choices affect the dynamics? Okay, so for those who don't know, I'm Middle Eastern. I'm particularly Iranian. I'm Persian. So one of the things that in our ethnicity is that we're very big on we're very tribal ethnicity, and we take our parents' opinions very strongly into consideration. I think part of breaking off and just kind of creating your own identity is it's so much easier said than done. But like it's honestly, John Bell is to just go out there and become independent. One key thing that will help you is, I don't know if you live with your parents or if you live on your own, but if you live on your own, that starts paving the way for you to make your own decisions, and your parents are not going to be squawking behind you like, hey John, what are you doing, like why are you doing this and doing that. And you just also have to understand the fact that like your parents, they come from like a different generation, and you are I'm guessing you're probably born in America, or you're born in the Western country, and you're born in the Western country, right? So you're living a different life now, and you just have to understand that your parents are not going to always be on board with everything you have to say. Now, I'm not saying distance yourself from your parents. Obviously respect them and appreciate them, and when they show affection, you show affection back, but you're not going to see eye to eye with everything with your family says. Like I get sometimes like off often that even the way I see things in life with dating, or I see things with like just how I live my life. I've had even friends tell me like, dude, you're all over the place, Cameron, you're this, you're that, or whatever. I'm just finding out that this is who I am. And I know that I'm going in the right direction because I have people like Afi Kingdom to tell me, Cameron, you're a good guy. You're doing great things. And I respect Afi's opinion so much because he's someone that Afi is someone I look up to, because he's put himself in a direction where I associate myself with, and I want to be one day helping multiple guys like you out as well. So I hope that answers your question, John Bell. And if it doesn't, feel free to ask a follow-up question. I'll be happy to elaborate as well. And thank you for that question.
Good, good. I got a question for you. What do you say to guys who are are growing to that age, maybe around 25 to 30, and they're learning themselves, and their goals and stuff are on the line with the people that they're around? What advice would you give to somebody? Because people always want to get their friends and family to champion whatever ideas that they have. So, what would you say to someone who's not getting that internal support?
Go ahead and find yourself a group of guys that do. That's the only thing I can advise. That I can at least think of at the moment is really, you need to associate yourself with people like Afi Kingdom. You need to find communities out there that will support your beliefs. Now, you need obviously constructive criticism, and you need a dose of reality too. So if you're just kind of like thinking like, oh, my idea is the best idea, like sometimes you need successful people out there like Afi and others that will tell you like, okay, listen, I appreciate the direction you're going with this, but I feel like you can pivot a little bit and go like this direction, or have you considered maybe thinking it like in this fashion? So you don't want to associate with yourself with people who are not at your level. And I'm not saying like don't like just like, I have this video on my Instagram, which by the way you can follow me on. It's the Grand Cam. One of the videos I talk about is that if you're someone who's highly ambitious, I feel like you're going to go overboard. And Afi, just a takeaway from that video is this: if you're highly ambitious, you're going to be so excited about something you learn. Like, let's just say Afi was I was watching a video from Afi, or was one of John's seminars, and Afi's just like talking, he's just dropping mad like truth bombs, right? I want to share it with other guys and other people because I feel like they can benefit from what I've learned, from a special piece of knowledge that Afi holds, and now I want to share it with the rest of the world. but not everybody is ready for this kind of information. And Afi sometimes could be considered controversial, even though I never think any of this stuff is controversial. And they might be like, oh, well, it's to this or it's to that, whatever the case may be, right? But you need to associate yourself with people who are very, I don't want to say like they're exactly eye to eye, but they're very similar, the way they interpret life, the way they just perceive things. So if you are someone that is like surrounding yourself with others who are just strictly like they're negative Nancy, they don't like to see you just do things, they don't like to see you be ballsy and put yourself out there and be vulnerable in front of people on Instagram or YouTube, then just kind of shelf them a little bit. Just don't take it. Don't care too much about what they have to say. So that's how I'll go about it.
Danger Russ says Jeff Bezos didn't have a community and Steve Jobs was different. Spit on that, owning it, even if they doubt you.
Those guys are anomalies, and I'm not discounting their success, but those guys like some people. Though I don't know if you agree with this, but I feel like people like that are like they're like geniuses. So they see the future way before like we like see like they're building like businesses that while they are small scale at the beginning, but they end up like building conglomerates and empires because they see something bigger than what the average person sees.
You see the
So
right on Instagram.
say that again.
King Genius, Afi. I get it. That was there before you said it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what do you think, Afi? Like, that's a very good point that Danger Russ said. That's actually a very good point. Like, those guys didn't really have a community, and like this community that I'm talking about is like internet community. That's how you and me connected through the internet. So, what would you say about that? Like, do you think that's the exception to the rule, or do you think a majority of guys out there can do big things in life without having like big communities like this to back them up?
Some people are just naturals. Just some people are just naturally good at, you know, everything. There's
Mm-hmm.
people who are 6 years old who can speak 5 languages. There's
Yep.
people who can run super fast. There's kids that are 9 who can dunk. There's always exceptions to every rule. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and like just like I'm watching this thing. It's called Head of Class. It's a documentary miniseries about LeBron James' son, and it just shows like the pressure that he has coming. It's not like he's meant to be great because his father is playing basketball. His father is LeBron James. That's a lot of pressure, man. And they're just showing him. I'm on the 4th episode, and he's
Mm-hmm.
like, they're selling out games, and it's like deja vu watching his documentary when they showed him in high school, and they're just
Mm-hmm.
selling out games and doing all this stuff, and they're going to China and they're like rock stars and stuff, but they're like 15 years old and stuff, and it's cool. I'm still watching it right now, so
Mm-hmm.
there's always the selected few, but then again, Michael Jordan had a son too, so and where did that go? Nowhere. So sometimes it's just in certain people.
Absolutely. And I think one thing that's important to note as well is that having a community, obviously I'm sure the person, I think it was forgot who mentioned it, that comment about the community thing. Like, I know he's not saying that not having a community is bad or having it is good. He's just mentioning that there are people out there that don't need it. And I agree with that. I'm just saying what I'm going based off is this. Like, if you want to get to the level of the success you vision and you crave every day when you wake up and you're putting in, the hours at work, or you're just grinding in your business and you're just like trying to understand how life works all together, like the being part of a community gets you there 50 times faster because you start unloading your trauma and any personal issues. I've unloaded my personal issues with Afi, like I think now 3 times, because I saw you in Q2 of Q2 of last year in John's group. And I started asking you these questions, and then like as I saw Afi like the last like 2 times, my questions became less like simple. They became more like more at a basic level. It became more like Afi, like it's very very specific and very tailored. And then and then Afi just kept dropping like wisdom knowledge, and I'm just like, dude, like what the hell this guy can do? He has an answer for everything. So I think like if you're part of a community, it's you're just on board. You're on the right path like sooner, you know. And any kind of trauma you have, you can share with the right people. Like I'm not going to share my personal issues that I share with Api to like to the guys that I see on an everyday basis. Like I don't feel, not that they're not, I'm going to be honest, like they're not competent enough in my opinion. In my opinion, they may think that, but I don't feel that they're ready to share that they can give me the right solution, because either they don't have the right life experience or they're not the same mindset as I have. But I know that Api can help me out with that way better than they can, and that's the benefit of being part of a community.
It's because I can give you a really transparent, unbiased answer. I'm not gonna look at you as Cam when we used to dig in your nose when we was 11 and I used to throw you in the pool. I have what you show me is what I'm judging, and people don't know.
Oh yeah.
People, right? People don't know how to
Okay,
look
that's a good point. That's a good point.
at what they see and what they know, and that's the issue. So that's the reason why sometimes people reach out to other people, because they want to be judged without being judged. And that and that's the major key. He said, I feel like you want to beat LeBron. That's the hustle. We always want to be superior than our fathers. It's about being a visionary, bro. Like, I mean, for instance, like this year, where my plaque at? I got the dating coach of the year.
Now, congratulations again.
Yeah, for sure. But I I be looking at stuff like I want to be a international podcaster. I be picturing myself one day. I'm gonna be the first cat to you know how they have like plays and stuff like Tyler Perry. Well, I'm gonna be doing like a podcast tour, and see that's what I think.
Okay.
So I didn't get the idea, but that's how I see myself. That's you know, if I mean, how is that not a good idea? We talking to different people live in front of live audience, and they get to enjoy live interaction. And at that point, I'm gonna really be an expert because I'm gonna have super years under my belt. I got three, maybe I had three more, whatever. And people will pay live to see the interaction. We probably could just smoke weed, whatever, you know, and just really chop it up, and then have it like on the screen, and people can really see it. Like that's how I think, and that's how come it's like just certain things don't capture my attention because I think so far.
Dude, Afi, that's a very good point. So, okay, I want to share this with you since you shared that personal story. I was in my master's program. I was getting my MBA, and I remember I was studying entrepreneurship, and I remember my professor said, "Okay, everybody, come up with a business plan. And you got to make sure you prepare a value proposition, customer segments, your channels, all these different things that it's called the canvas. For those who don't know, or they're just starting into entrepreneurship, it's called the business canvas, I think. And I think this is like how to set you up for entrepreneurship when you want to launch a startup, let's say. And I remember one of the things I said, Afi, was that I wanted to have my own podcast, and I wanted to have it called Fireside Chats. Okay. So this is me saying like presenting to the class, where it's me hosting people. There's a fireplace, kind of like how FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt would have to kind of cheer up the Americans. I think during like World War II, when after like Pearl Harbor happened, I remember he would like have these fireside chats to like get people all pumped up and like live positively and not just be don't worry about the war and all that kind of stuff. So for me, like I want to have it where people are thinking positive during my podcast, right? So that's where the fireside chat idea came from. Now, I'm not doing exactly a fireside chat, but what I am doing, okay, is I host. I started with Instagram Live, where I host guys that are from ages 18 to 30. Now I do it on YouTube, and my channel, the Grand Mail, again, it's being approved for streaming right now for StreamYard. So I'm going to launch my first video on Tuesday with Alex Hudock, who's also part of John's community as well, and we're going to talk about dating with congruency and authenticity. But before I did YouTube, I did it on Instagram Live, and Api, I mean, the idea is manifesting. Like this is like 2 years ago, and I didn't know this idea just randomly came about. Like it was like 2 months ago, where I was like, wait a minute, I have some reputation in the community of guys that we're part of. I have a great Instagram. With hard work, I had to get to that point. All the right pictures and everything. And there are guys out there that like deserve clout, because they're just good quality guys and they provide so much value for the world, right? So let me showcase these people and just give them clout. That's just who I am. I'm not charging any of my speakers that come on my show. I just want them to get more clout. That's literally all I care about. I'm not like capping at all about this. So the first guy I had was Harry Zikos. The second guy I had was somebody who goes to my gym who's a fitness trainer. And we had somebody, one of my friends, sign up for his training. So I got this guy a freaking sale, and I was so happy about it. We always talk about the gym. I'm like, hey, how's your client doing? The guy that, my buddy that signed up, he's like, dude, he's doing really well. He signed up with the X amount of weeks, and he's eating well and all these things. He's taking, before and after pictures, and he looks, starting to look a little bit different. And the next guy I have is, I had Ryan Apollo on my stream, and Ryan Apollo is on his YouTube, which is Elevate Cypher. We talked about cryptocurrency. We talked about cybersecurity. Afi, that was a really good stream. And again, the idea manifested from me thinking so far ahead. So I, wanted to share that with you as well, because you shared something very similar.
Yeah, it's the real talk, man. Like, and I don't care if people like it, and I don't care if people think it's funny or ha you wish. Like, I'm telling you, it been a lot of stuff that I tell you, it happened. So I don't know. Don't be selective of thinking what is going to happen that I say and what's not going to happen what I say. You trust and believe that everything I tell you, rather if I tell you in person, if you in my community, if you're part of my online community, if you're part of my family, just promise you this. Everything that I tell you is going to happen. Every greatness that I tell you that I am, it will be tangible, and you will be questioning yourself that you even doubted the words that came out of my mouth. You're going to doubt it. You're going to be like, why did I think that? Because you're going to look back at these type of interviews 10 years from now, and you're going to be like, man, this guy knew it then.
God damn it, Afi. That's why I love when I talk to you and you just go on and on about this. It's like, it makes me feel like young guys like me, it makes me feel reassured that I'm going in the right direction. I need to hear these kind of things sometimes. And I know, like, you don't want to rely so much on external validation, but like, Afi, like sometimes, like, there are guys out there, like I know in our community that they're like, oh, I don't feel like I can do this. And I'm like, dude, you're so much better than this. You deserve better than this, right? So when I hear this from you, and I know the chat benefits from this as well. And man, Afi, I feel so much better even hearing that, because like, it's funny when you said, I don't care if my friends laugh at me or my family, they laugh or whatever about my ideas, or that is so freaking powerful that you don't even care. Like, you're just so laser focused. Like, this is just who I am. This is exactly how I am. And if I deviate from this script of life that's been handed to me, then I'm being inauthentic with myself. So, dude, thank you so much for sharing that. that was freaking awesome.
All I can do is me. It's a question here from Andy on the block. He said, if you're willing to go through all the balloting to get where you want to get, who's got the right to stop you? Nobody, bro. Only person that can stop you is yourself. That's the only person, bro. Yourself and your subconscious mind. That's the main key. You guys gotta learn how to control the subconscious. That's another key. It's something that I learned to do. I don't want to break down the story like that, but I remember years ago I went to see hypnosis in Vegas. I had that experience, and then I was on another one when I was on the cruise ship, and I had that experience. And I kind of felt that he was able to control me for a little bit, and I snapped out of it. But when I snapped out of it, I went back and did some research and figured out some things to where I know how to kind of tap into my subconscious mind. And I don't want to get too deep, but I know how to do it. I really know how to. I'm telling you, man, it's a skill, and everybody is good at something, man. And if it sounds crazy, me telling you, like, I'm a master of manifestation. I really am, bro. I'm talking about relationships. I'm talking about money. I'm talking about everything, bro. And that's when my life changed. To be honest with you, when I feel like when I got to a point when I felt like I was here to affect other people, then my shit just snapped just right there, bro. And then it just gave me a different momentum. You know what I'm saying? Like, these kind of vibes is what give me my energy and to succeed and stuff like that. Like, if I talk about sex or women and stuff like that, I'll get more viewers and stuff like that, and more super chats and stuff like that. Like earlier, it went down and shit. Yeah, now it's all chill, but that's okay because I need this energy. I don't necessarily feel like doing all of that. Sometimes I want to teach, sometimes I want to entertain, but sometimes I want to learn, and sometimes I also want to reflect. And I can only reflect if I have conversations like this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, powerful stuff, Afi.
He said, "My bro with the real gang. You already know 1950. I am wise, bro. You cats gonna figure out how wise I am when you see me on the T screen. You just think it's YouTube because it's my computer. It don't mean shit. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show each and every one of you what it means. Promise you."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "I see you, Oppie, in the future with a cult following like Hotep. I hear good things about him. Oh, I'm more based than okay. Well, I take that too. It takes take it one day at a time. Once you get tasks done, attack the next. The issue is that people try to address all their issues at once instead of attacking each one specifically. That's facts.
Oh
That's
yeah,
facts.
absolutely.
Overwhelm yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, one thing I want to mention about that is like taking championing and championing and celebrating your micro successes is extremely important, because to get to where I was now, like, you know, with public speaking and how comfortable I am with being on stage and talking to people, like, I didn't get there like, you know, just in one day. Like, I honestly like had to practice and I had to have setbacks. And you know, being a polished and more refined speaker has helped me with communication, with finding the right woman in my life too, right? So it's all about just like noticing the minor successes that you have, getting that little bit of that validation where somebody says, "Hey, Cameron, great job on your speech," or "Hey, John, I noticed you seem different. Like there's something, you know, but it's in a good way. You're doing something really good." So make sure you recognize those and acknowledge the accomplishments, even if there's something small, one day at a time.
Let me ask you this: as far as the dating lane,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta give them a little taste.
Sure.
What's your pet peeves with women, bro? Like for me,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm trying to, you know, this is intel for me because, like I say, I teach, but I coach for a living, so I need to know these things for my
Mm-hmm.
content and stuff. Like so, as I make videos and all of that, like for me, I don't like pressure. I don't like control. That's my thing, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
like flakiness. What about women? Because there are women who listen to this. There's one in there right now, but like, what for a man? You being a single man, like, what are the turnoffs? How do women turn you off? Because women just seems to think that they, you know, it's different. Like, what are your no's that women do when you're like, hell no?
I mean, and we're just talking in general, right? Like, not, for example, what stage of the dating I'm in or with the girl, right? Just in general. Okay. I think if a girl is like very, she gives off masculine vibes, and to elaborate on that, like she's just, for example, she's just being like she like one thing that bothers me, a pet peeve, is like, let's just say I'm meeting a girl on a first date and we're going towards a coffee shop and she starts like speed walking ahead of me. I'm just like, whoa, like, you know, chill, like just go right next to me, you know, just we'll talk, don't worry about it. If she doesn't let me be the man that I'm supposed to be, like if she doesn't let me just, you know, court her and put it and just present myself in a way where like I can just show the best version of myself, and she doesn't ask these like, you know, ridiculous like annoying questions or something, like she just lets me it just lets it flow, right? If she for example is also letting me just use my charm and use my game, right? And it just flows, it's smooth like butter, then she's on the right track. But again, for me, I would say too aggressive, too masculine, where, you know, just like those things really bother me. And also here's another thing. Like I if I just
One
see,
too,
go
combative.
ahead.
I hate combative chicks, bro. Some
Yeah.
chicks are combative as hell, bro, for no reason. No, like for no, like why, lady? What is wrong with you? Like, you know, you can say you just go, you get your gold chains on, and you put your new Versace shirt on, and you got your hair, you put your gel in it, and then you got your girl, your main piece or whatever, and you be like,
Mm-hmm.
"What's up? How I look? Ugh, who you looking good for? What the fuck?" You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh
bro,
man.
I'd rather you tell me. I'd almost rather you tell me I look bad than say that. Who
Oh man.
trying to do
I
nothing? Well, decent. What I damn? Why I gotta be for something?
yeah, I mean, Afi, like so I think one thing that guys they
Go ahead.
well, one thing that guys that also need to make sure that they're very keen, they have keen awareness of this, like they're dialed in, which is filtering out those kind of women out of their life. Because one thing for me is this: you got to be, you have to have such acute level of awareness for this. So I have a chick that I'm dating right now, and one of the things that she says is like, on my Instagram, I like to cook food, right? So I was like, I'm chopping the onions in a certain way or whatever, and she's like, why do you chop the onions like that? And then, okay, so let's just give us some context. Let's just say she's genuinely curious and doesn't ask me like, why do you do this like that? Why do you do that like that?
It's
What
the
is
tone of
it?
it, right?
Right?
It's the
Yeah,
tone
she's
of
like nitpicking a little
yeah.
like that, right? When a girl is genuinely curious, like I can tell. My dating skills are much better now.
Oh,
I've
it-
sharper game now.
yeah. You got
Yeah,
that,
no,
that interesting vibe. Just
mhm.
little stuff like that makes hell of a difference. Like,
Yes.
okay, that's cool. Why? Oh, let me see what you're doing. Can I try it? It's a totally different fucking vibe.
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, like that same girl, she's like saying, "I want to cook for you." She's like, "I really want to cook for you." And then she's like, "You always cook for me. Let me please cook for you." And I'm like, "Hey, as long as it's healthy." And she's like, "Oh, of course, it'll definitely be healthy." Now, I corrected her on this. I said, "Listen, I don't like it when you're asking all these like questions. Like, for example, why do you leave the light on here? Like, why do you have to leave the light slightly on? Why is your?" And I also have like Google lights in my house. So she's like, "Why are the lights green? Why is this like this? Why is that?" I'm like, "No, listen, you got to stop this. This has to end now." And you got to correct it from the beginning. And I'm not in a monogamous relationship with this girl either. So I'm starting to show her that I have these boundaries and you need to adhere to that if you want to be in my life. If you don't want to be part of this, you don't want to be part of the Cameron team, go find a guy that's willing to accept all this like nagging behavior, like beep, 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 like that.
You know
Go
what's
find out
funny?
somebody else.
You know what's funny too? When they try to make you negotiate something, but only one person wants something. You
Right.
know,
It's not a win-win. It's not a win-win. That is not good.
like like the girl could be like, oh, if you want to get some of this, you better take me out. I didn't ask for none of that.
Right. Right.
I didn't even ask for it. You telling me what I gotta do to get it, and I ain't even saying I want it.
Oh man, if a girl ever if a girl ever said that to me, she's like, if you want to get some of this, you better like this. You got to do this for me. I'll be like, you know what? The door is right over there. Feel free to walk out and find yourself a guy that is willing to put up with this because listen, I don't have time for women that are combative like this, right? And like if they're making here's the thing, women that are genuinely like they really appreciate their man, they don't put their men through this kind of stuff, right? They don't make their men make it transactional where like if you do this, I'll offer my body to you. Like women that really have true genuine burning desire after you, like they're gonna be like, honey, what can I do for you? Is there anything else you want? Like for Valentine's Day, my girl brought like chocolate dip strawberries and whiskey, and I didn't even ask her to do that. But I'm grateful. I'm just like, hey, I gave her her praise. I'm like, listen, that was very nice of you to do that. So I was like, okay, cool.
Or you know what else they saying what they not gonna do? I ain't gonna do this. I don't do that.
Right.
Okay, cool. Being
Yeah.
slightly condescending can be felt. Yeah, you definitely feel it, man. Like
Hmm.
to me, I feel like this when you're dating. I feel like it shouldn't even the program stuff shouldn't even be initiated until there's chemistry first. Like if there's no chemistry, why does it matter what my expectations are and why do your expectations matter if we don't even like each other?
That is so important. I mean, that's where the friction comes in because if I like listen, I've gone on multiple first dates, Afi, where like I know my game is sharp enough. So if I tell a girl, let's say within like I don't know a certain time of like being on a date, I tell her, hey, come a little bit closer. I want to share, just to show a little bit more intimacy and like physical touch with her. If I tell her, hey, come a little bit closer, she's like, no, I'm just gonna sit over here. Like after like a certain amount of time being with her, I'm like, oh my god, ugh, never mind. And then I'll just literally walk out of the day. I'm saying, hey, you know what? It's just not working out for us. And like, you don't find me physically attractive. and I don't even need to explain anything to these girls, but I do it just to get them some free game. I'll just say, listen, it's not working, and sorry, you're better off finding someone else because it's not going to work between us.
I remember one time I was making out with this chick and she was a tomboy, right?
Okay.
No, it was hilarious because she was like taller than me too. So we're making out and shit, and she's not like she's not like into it that I'm used to it. So I'm stopping it like, hey, is you feeling this or what? Like I had it, you usually don't get out of seductive mode, but she was just so aloof. I'm like, hey, bro, do you want to keep doing this? Because this you're not making it fun. She just like, oh, hey, I like it. I'm like, well, come on, man. I know you gotta like throw some throw some something in there. Throw me some motivation. You just like yeah. And that was the only time I remember I stopped in the middle of the session. Like, hey, do you want to continue?
And here's the thing, Afi, like your game is so sharp that you even have the balls and you're so bold enough to even like point that out because girls will respect you for that. They're going to be like, oh wow, like that's the first time a guy's ever like said that or said it in a way with conviction, like you actually genuinely back it up, right? Yeah. So I mean, I've had it before too, where girls are just like a starfish, and I'm like, you do something else more than this? Like, is this all you do? You're just gonna be like this, like, and that's it? I'm like, come on, this is boring. Like put a little oomph into it.
Yeah, like nothing. Like, oh, I am the prize. You just do everything. No, bro. Moses said insert coin to continue playing the game. Right. Like, did I run the quarters or what? Hold on. I think I got 2 more quarters. If I drop 1 more quarter, is that gonna give me some moans or what?
Yeah, I think it's really important to note for guys out there who are like beginners, right? I don't think guys know that you often have to like sometimes you got to train, or I don't want to say the word train, but sometimes you got to like show the girl, like you got to show her a little bit of like certain things to do, right? So if she's like, for example, you doing a sexual position wrong, or she's like, pleasing you in a very uncomfortable manner, where like it's hurting you, let's without being explicit, like if it's hurting down there, just kind of like, hey, like. Let's fix it up a little bit, and you got to show her, and she won't know, like, because she's the one that's doing the action. So you got to tell her, hey, listen, like, maybe after the session's over, or even during the session, just say, hey, listen, like, and again, guys, it's important you say it with tact. And SC Flair, absolutely, you're right. You got to call on her, but you got to do it with tact, diplomacy, and do it in a way where like a coach would talk to a student. So you don't do it in a way where it's like, all right, what the hell, bitch? Like, you suck at doing this. Like, get out of my freaking house. You don't. Come on, man. Like, you don't treat a girl like that. There's ways to go about this. There's levels to this game that you can go. That is just with tact and diplomacy, and the girl will respect you for it, and it'll go a long way. And you're leaving her. And if it doesn't work out between you guys, at least you leave her on good terms. So when she goes to the next guy, she's gonna please. She knows what she's doing, and she's gonna always remember you're the one that showed her how to do it right.
Mm-hmm. I think got scraped up a few times. Like, damn, bro, worth it. It would have been a tooth in the back or something. Like, is this worth it?
Mm-hmm.
Like it ain't.
Yeah. So, thank you.
Instagram. It's Grand Cam.
Yeah, it's the Grand. Okay, so for my Instagram, it's the Grand Cam. My YouTube channel is the Grand Male, and it has no videos. And I think even the default picture of the channel shows my face on it, so you can see. Actually, I think like my the one that I'm logged in right now is actually that channel. So it's just if you see my face, then you're on the right one. It's called the Grand Male.
Cool. What are your plans for your content in the next? What is it? 2021. Let's say 2023. Where you see yourself? Content wise, where you at? Married, single, player lifestyle? What do you see?
Damn, putting me on the hot seat. I love it. Okay. So I think, let's go into business first. So I think for business, what's going to happen is this. I see the Grand Male interview series. Right now we're on episode, I believe we're on episode 6, which is with Alex Hudock, which is coming up on Tuesday. So Tuesday night, it will be 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, so 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. I think what's going to happen is the Grand Male interview series is going to evolve with more esteemed guests, and I believe by that point, but let's say 2023, I've established over up to 300 episodes. And my coaching business is going to grow. Like I'm right now, I'm going to be charging as of right now for $75 for 45 minutes. And that's just to kind of get the ground running to see what kind of clients are out there and see like where does everybody feel about the price and everything. So that's going to be a discovery. I'm in discovery mode right now with my business. So I believe by then my prices will increase. I will have at least 300 clients. And what I want is this. I want guys to be self-sufficient. So I don't want you guys to depend on me for the rest of your life. Like I literally want it to be where like you get the wisdom and you're just like from there, you can just kick ass. Like you just go, you dominate in dating, you dominate in business, you just dominate in every area of your life where, occasionally like you hit me up or you send me, let's say like Instagram messages and say, Cameron, I just want to let you know this happened, that happened, or I found the girl that I wanted to date, or I'm killing in cryptocurrency. Whatever the case is, like I want to hear those kind of things. So I feel like that's going to be happening like every week. I'm going to get at least like 3 of those messages. So hoping for that as well. And I think in terms of also with my own like personal business that I have on the side, I feel like that's going to grow and I'm going to have like more autonomy in that because it's a family business. And then aside from that, I think for dating, I don't want to say like I'm going to be married by like 2023, but the way I view dating is this. I have several like non-negotiables when I first meet a woman, and if she is if and I don't believe you find a girlfriend or you find the right woman. I think it's just kind of you cultivate it over time. Make sure your sexual companionship is on point and your non-sexual companionship on point. Shout out to ARC Alan Roger Curry for those exact words because he is on point with that. And he goes judging it based on 5 stars, like 1 to 5 stars. So it's 5 stars. Then it's in the right path between both those two variables. So if the woman is if my side piece is now like she's showing me that she's like is more serious of a serious can to be potential monogamous partner, then I'm open to monogamy. But I'll say this in the future, whether it's 2023 or 2022 or 2030, I want to have a family. I want to have a legacy, particularly 3 children with 3 boys if possible. But if not, I would like to have 2 boys and 1 girl. So whatever, and if that doesn't happen, I'm okay with that. I do want children and I do want to have like a legacy and I want to have a family for sure.
Good answer.
Thank you. What about you, man? I'm curious about you. I want, the chat to know as well. What's going on with like, what do you envision for yourself in 2023?
23.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? It's super, super, super hard to say. And let me tell you the reason why. Because everything is kind of revolve around in content and stuff like that. And I could put a timestamp on it. Mm-hmm. But as you know, and you've seen like Fresh Fit, whoever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like Fresh Fit, Byron was and now he didn't pass. Like, so it can be I can do a video next Thursday that gets shared viral and then none of this stuff because then everything changes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Like, AMS. I remember he went from, 4,000 to 100,000. That's like life off of videos that were like 8 minutes per video. A few of those amassed him that much following to change his whole life. Because guess what? If I make a video and it goes viral, okay, let me give you a good example. Let's say, because I have like women on my channel often. So let's say one of these times I get a woman on the channel and me and her get into it, and that clip gets shared on World Star or it just goes viral on Facebook. Then I'm getting 10,000 subscribers per week. Then I got 6 books for people to, you know what I mean? Sure, so it's just kind of hard to say because that can happen anytime. Like shout out to Playboy Zay. I did his first interview and he went viral. He started like maybe a year ago. He went viral on World Star first. Now he's went viral on TikTok. Now he just now started to go viral on Instagram. He went from like 2,000 followers to like 17,000 within a month because he had a few videos that took off. So it's, you know what I mean? But I would say I want to be out of the Bay Area, having an in studio where people will fly in to produce content, and I want me a pad abroad. So I'll put it to you like that. So I want to be have me a pad abroad. I want to have a studio to where people can come and we can do live interviews. Um, money more
Mm-hmm.
status, all of that. I can't really gauge of what number I want it to be. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
I can get at 100,000 and just feel that's enough. Because I just want to transfer over to different things, like certain books that I when I wrote Conversation with the Mind, for instance, I wrote that with the intent that that could be a movie too. Like that went in my mind when I was
Yeah.
also doing it. It didn't just happen. People say, "Yeah, that could be a movie." Yeah, I know. That's what I. That was the point. I ain't gonna tell y'all all my steps, but just
Right.
and the thing is, it's just like if I get some enough status, if I do an Instagram talking shit
Mm-hmm.
and somebody sees it, then that go my director right there. It can just happen, that just like that, man. Because all this is about you just need the right person to see you because you never know who's watching.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, I remember one thing I learned Afi through Fresh and Fit podcast was Fresh was the one that said this part in particular. He's like, I remember I was like, hey, Fresh, I want to post all this stuff. He was kind of like my Instagram coach, I would say, for a good amount of time. And I remember asking him like, hey, I really don't want to I don't feel like posting this and posting that because it's not going to get a good turn. He's like, you'll never know if it'll become viral. You never know. And I was like, oh shit, that's a good point. Okay, fine. I'm gonna put myself out there and produce all this content. If it just gives me like 200 views or 10 views, whatever. I mean, it might be effective. It actually might blow up. You never know. So for those who are
You've
out there
gone
who are
viral multiple times now.
yeah, I mean, it honestly can happen to anybody. So when he said that, it really opened my eyes, and I was actually thinking about it today. I was like, shoot, what's going to be the next thing I want to post? And I was like, well, if I'm going to do a video, I don't want to be so preoccupied about I just want to make sure that the message is a good message and it's helping out young men out there. So if it's doing that, great. And if as an added bonus, if it becomes viral, even better.
Facts. John Bell says, "What's your favorite crypto broker?"
Yeah, I would say so. The different financial exchanges. So Jonathan mentioned Kraken is one, and then he also said that Coinbase is usually easier to on ramp. So here's the thing: whatever direction, depending on what country you're in, let's just say you're in America. So there's Binance US, there is Binance US, there's Coinbase, there's also Gemini. For me in particular, I have accounts on all those exchanges. And the reason why is this. So let's just say you have your cryptocurrency in a hardware storage wallet, such as the Trezor Model T. And let's say your Ethereum shoots from let's say the price, I don't know what's hovering at right now. I think it was like 1,500 the last time I checked. It goes from 1,500 to let's say 3,000. Like literally right now it happens. Okay. A lot of people are going to want to cash out, or a lot of people are going to want to buy. So what happens is that these exchanges, these brokerages, right? They shut down for technical difficulties, as they always say. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to prevent people from selling their crypto so they can keep it, right? They make money off your crypto being in the exchange. So one way of going about it is this, let's just say you have your hardware storage wallet, which connects to your computer, right? So, okay, fine. I connected to my computer. Gemini is down, but Coinbase is not, right? So you send a little bit of test money, you see, you can easily withdraw. Great. Now you just send everything to Coinbase or the amount that you want to send, and boom, you sell it through Coinbase. So and what Jonathan's mentioning is the on ramps, right? So make sure that you have multiple on ramps prepared. So it's like going on a freeway, right? And you don't want to, if you want to have the option of going off multiple exits in case there's a road, let's say the road is blocked, right? So if the road is blocked, the exit is blocked, you want to have another exit, like the next exit after, or the next two exits after, to go through.
That's good stuff. He says, Jonathan says, Coinbase is usually easier on the ramp. Just do the verification on all the ramp brokers first. The process is that takes time.
Yeah, fairly easy. Yeah, not too difficult. One thing, Api, I wanted to touch on as well, just to kind of go back to the subject of like Toastmasters, because you were mentioning that you're talking to the guy about starting a club, and there are two kinds of people that go into Toastmasters. Number one, which is the majority, I think, of majority of people, is that they're absolutely terrified of public speaking. They don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to have their whole body out there and like talk to everybody. And one thing to note is this: it is much harder to present your whole body away from the podium, right? So away from the podium and just literally out there where you can see my shirt, my pants, like everything what I'm wearing, and I start talking and I'm making my hand gestures and whatever, right? But if you're behind a podium, it's actually a lot easier because you're kind of your body is just protected from like another thing, right? Exactly. So that's the first kind of person, which is you're just absolutely terrified of public speaking. The second type of person is someone like me, where I'm not scared of going out and talking in front of people, but I cannot organize my thoughts as well, and I'm not able to enunciate as well, or I'm not able to eloquently share something in a concise manner. So I get coached on that, and I get evaluated on that. Also, I said like multiple times during my speeches and during my instantaneous speaking moments, where somebody would literally say, so I want to ask the audience, what did you do last summer? It's quiet about for 5 seconds. These are the guys who are really good at are doing it. Cameron. And I'm just like, oh shit, okay. So you stand up, and then you give your salutations to the person who asked you that question. You thank them for that, and you also welcome the guests that are in the club, and then you give your response. So those are the two people, Afi, that you're gonna just expect to have as your new guest coming in. And just know that you're going to be when you're going to Toastmasters. So all the guys in the chat, like, you're going to fit in one of these categories, and make sure you tackle this ASAP, because communication goes a long way.
So you say it's totally worth it? Can I get on boss level? Can I be like so good at it that I'm like the top on the West Coast and all of that shit? Oh, Aki Kingdom, he's training the best speaker in this corner. He's break. Can I do that? Can I get there with it or not? Is that not that kind of thing?
Appy, it is 100% that thing. Now, I don't know how it is in the post-COVID era right now, but here's the thing: prior to COVID-19,
Yeah, I think.
Yes, and it's funny because it just worked. It just married perfectly right now with what I'm talking about. Appy, your business. Here, the funny thing is like you have an established business already, and guys know you on the web very well, right? You're someone of like great presence on the web. Just imagine the people that you see in person that don't know who the hell you are, right? And then you see, oh shit, he has all these videos, he has all this like content. Like, what is this? He has interviews with women, he has interviews with guys, right? So they're like, oh wait, Afi, like I didn't know you have all this like coaching stuff. So then your business just like, just multiplies more and more and more. People start to know you.
We got it. We own something. See, I told you. You see, guess what? I told y'all this. Y'all didn't drop no donation or no super chat this whole time, but we done made some money, baby.
Yep. Absolutely.
Y'all still need to hit the cash out because we getting some good information, and I think y'all should support this cause because I know you guys. They always we like the real game, but y'all don't show me that. You guys need to put respect on people's wisdom and the stuff. It's fun to talk about the girls and stuff like that. We did that this morning. We had super chat parties, all of that. But this is the real stuff that really matters. Because it's mindset. Nod and check. As you see, there we go. Topaz hitting that Cash App, baby. We got ladies hitting the Cash App, and you guys hate it so much because women ain't hitting y'all Cash App.
That's actually that's some strong game right there. And it's not just your game, but it's also like your likability, and it's just everything about you, man. Like, you have such great energy that even like women are going to donate money to you, even though you're like helping out like young men like myself and others in the chat. So like the fact that she's doing that shows a lot about your character. Like women have a lot of respect for you. So no, that's great. And one thing, Afi, I want to mention too is this: in Toastmasters, you can literally compete to be the best speaker in the whole freaking world. So it starts with your district, then it goes to the region, and then it goes to like, I don't know, semi-region or whatever the hell, or the best of the state. Dude, I'm telling you, the world is your oyster in Toastmasters.
You making some money, baby.
Yes. Your books are gonna grow in sales. I'm pretty sure they'll grow in sales at least because then you're becoming more well known, man.
You didn't said the right thing to the wrong person.
Yeah, man. Afi, I didn't even take advantage of Toastmaster tournaments, but like you, dude, bro, you can do it, man. I don't know how it is right now with post-COVID era because everything I think is on Zoom, but I know Toastmasters are working around it. Like it's a huge organization. They're all over the world. They're in China, they're in Japan, they're like everywhere. Indonesia, all the way in Western Europe. So it's literally everywhere.
You
And
know, if it's one thing I can do, it's talk.
Yeah.
You know personally, if it's one thing I can do, is talk the show.
Yes. And here, Api, here's a beautiful thing. Want me to drop some fucking like, oh, this is gonna make you so happy. Everybody in the chat knows that you love to travel. Okay. So do your normal travel itinerary that you like to do, sightseeing or meeting people, whatever you like to do, right? But also go as a guest to a public speaking club, Toastmasters public speaking club, and introduce yourself and email the club ahead of time. Say, hey, my name is Api Kingdom. I want to be there, and I want to be a guest at your guys' club for your Tuesday evening meeting. So now you're connecting with people from other clubs, and dude, you're getting international money now. Now you got people from Japan saying, "Oh, Api Kingdom, who is this guy?" You got people from freaking Ghana. You got people from like Germany, everywhere. There you go.
You see, everything happens for a reason, bro. Because I was gonna look into it, but now my motivation is totally different now. Now I'm gonna end this video with a super chat ultimate get money one too. I'm gonna do the super chat for Topaz, even though it was a cash app when we end the show. You'll see it, you'll like it. It's inspirational.
I love it.
Not more inspirational than game but that's just the way I see myself. I don't know. I guess people just see what's important to them out of you.
Okay, yeah, no, I agree with that.
If they need inspiration out of me, then that's the part that's important. If they need finesse game out of, then they gonna notice that part, and they miss the other part. So,
Yeah, I mean, I got people that have difference in opinions. For example, the way like I go about with dating. Like some people are not going to subscribe to how I date, and that's fine. Live the life you want to live, and I hope you get the results that you want. And there are people that come up to me for like my cryptocurrency advice. And again, it's not financial advice; it's just how to set up like certain things. I'm happy to share knowledge of that. But like people just nitpick different things that they want out of me, and I'm totally okay with that. Again, I'm here. I believe one of my purposes in life is to be here to help out young guys with whatever issues that they're having. And one thing on my Instagram, and thank you for everybody. I want to give shout outs to Mosman and everyone else who's been plugging my Instagram. If you guys look at my bio, I say that my goal is to free young men out of the mental constraints of life, right? So I want any kind of mental constraints you're feeling up here, I want you to feel liberated, right? So whether it's like creating a self identity for yourself, where you're just feeling, you're just feeling so much better about yourself. You have so much more self respect, and you're having just this like absolute life of abundance. Then from that point forward, if I created that for you, right, you're gonna have to do the work, obviously. But if I created that for you, you're now liberated. Like that is exactly what I want, and I wish the best for everybody to have that. And Mosman in the chat saying you have different pathways in Toastmaster leadership. Yes, absolutely, Mosman. Thank you for sharing that. So Toastmasters actually used to be.
Y'all want me to be rich faster?
You're the crap out of you right there. I'm like, whoa,
I didn't enjoy that journey. Y'all want me to get rich too fast? Stop it with these ideas. I'm gonna get rich too fast.
No, it's absolutely true, man. Like they set you up for success in the public speaking world. And I remember, Mosman, just to let you know, like when I was president of my club at the time when Pathways came about, and I was just like, oh God, I have to deal with this right now. Like I don't want to deal with the new program. And I was like, Mosman, I was like, dude, like I just do not want to deal with this change, right? But part of life is embracing change. And I remember like I was like a proponent of, hey, embrace change. And I had to like walk the walk and not just talk the talk and act like I knew everything, right? So at that point, I was like started embracing it. I started appreciating it. And Pathways is actually one of the best things that ever happened to Toastmasters for sure.
That's facts. Well, hey man, you got any last words, any last inspiration for these people? Give them some good bars. Tell them where to reach you, and give them your last words.
Sure. So you can reach me again on Instagram at it's the Grand Cam. So ITS the THE Grand GRAND Cam CAM. And thank you again for everybody who's been plugging my Instagram. I really appreciate that. Perfect. Thank you, Afi, for plugging that on the screen right now. And my website is coming soon for my coaching services. It's going to be thegrandmail.com. It's in the works right now, and I'm going to make it spanking fresh. So you guys are going to love it. And my YouTube channel is The Grand Mail, which is going to be, and I'm going to make announcements periodically about all my speakers that are coming in. Again, the next Grand Mail interview series is going to be with Alex Hudock. It's going to be on Tuesday. It'll be at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as words of inspiration, first, I want to just give my thanks. Before I do that, I want to give my thanks to Afi Kingdom for having me on this on his video, on his channel. I'm forever grateful for you, brother. I really appreciate your wisdom as always. You're a big source of inspiration for me. And guys, all the men in the chat right now, just, resilience is so key, and authenticity and your self-identity is so important. So make sure whenever you have a setback, you always push forward. And if you feel like you're having identity crisis issues, like please contact me on the side. Like I can help you out with this, because Afi knows when he first met me, and you can vouch for me and tell me if you have a difference in opinion, Afi. But like when I met you back in was it July of 2020, okay, compared to now, like I was a much different person. I kind of a little bit confused, and I asked you, for your guidance on during the calls that we had. So I think I've changed for the better, and I'm a completely different person because I understand who I am. I have values. I have boundaries. I can help you in dating. I can help you with with just very a lot of areas of life. And again, my goal is to free you of your mental constraints. That's what I'm all about. So I'm here on this earth to help you guys out, and just spread the good knowledge and spread the good word and spread positivity.
Good. Well, I'm in the stuff. If you guys enjoyed the stream, make sure you follow my brother on Instagram. Feel free to DM him about stuff, currency questions that you don't bother me. Now you can bother him. See, now you can bother his ass. You ain't gotta bother me. I ain't gotta tell you I don't know. Now you've seen somebody who knows. Remember, we talked about it there earlier. That's teaching stuff. I'm reiterating my point that I made previously. Now you got somebody to ask that question.
Thank you, my man. Thank you.
Yep. He said, great message, Cam. Great seeing your evolution, brother. Like, yeah, and if people with thumbs down, stuff like this, just get ready for the hate. Like, damn, it's like some stuff. I make content that's hard to hate, and people hate it anyway. But I don't hate because I'm still great. And let me just throw this super chat party, and we're gonna be out. So plug my links and plug my man's Instagram while we play this. Because the road is yours. You damn right, Harry. Catch his playback. You missed a good one. We getting money. Jonathan already know where we gonna do it.
Oh yeah.
Know. We getting money because it's a super chat party. We getting money. We on the right cause. We getting our haircuts. We getting tailor-made suits. We getting women. We getting money out of cornflakes boxes. We making so much cash because it's a super chat party and it's mind elevation. We got money coming from everywhere. Money coming from all over. It's in trash bags. It's going all over the place. We leveling up. We getting it together. We pulling out new whips. Cornflakes for the drugs, just for the hell of it. New whips on you. Yeah. Oh yeah, you know the part. Beamers, Benz, Porsches. It's here. Oh yeah.